Good morning to everyone. And thank you very much for being here with us today. And also, I would like to thank everyone that is not here physically, but it's attending remotely through these fantastic new technologies, digital technologies that allow us to be here talking with people from a bit all over the world. And I would like to give my special thanks to the organization for the opportunity to be part of a discussion in such a topic that is very dear to me, and I think is very dear to every one of us, and because it's a very big challenge we all have. How to build a better future, how to be able to conciliate progress, the well-being, the economy, whilst respecting this wonderful planet. By now, we all know that at some point we screwed up and we have been using too much too fast. But today we are here with 4 companies, 4 people, 4 professionals that embraced the challenge and the responsibility to start doing otherwise. And this is a very difficult balance. I think we will all learn from all of them, because these are 4 cases of responsible companies that are trying to conciliate progress with sustainability. We all heard about greenwashing, which is not what we want companies to be doing. And we know that somehow we have to become more circular. We have to close the loop in order to open our future. And without further delays, I would like to welcome Rogerio Koehn, CEO at Saur in Spain, to address the audience with his presentation. Welcome.
First of all, good morning, everyone. Thank you for the organization, for the invitation, especially to Alberto. It's my first time in Oporto, and it's an amazing city, and I promise to come back to this amazing city. I will try to be very quickly, and then perhaps we have some additional questions. Also, apologize for my English level, but I try to explain what is our missions in the water. The title of the presentation, of course, the panel of this is Secure Our Future, and what we are doing in my company for this mission. Very quickly, my company, a company that I manage in Spain and Latin America, it's a pure player. We only dedicate our business in managed water, founded in 1933. The revenues is almost 2 billion euros. We have more than 12,000 employees, and we have more than 9,200 local authority clients. That basically is our main clients, the municipalities, the local authority, because remember, in many countries of the world, the water is local. Then we try to manage the water in this vision. We are a global company with a diversified business. Basically, we produce water service in municipalities contract. Also, we have industrial water solutions and engineering. That's the next slide. That in 3 core water business divisions. Water engineering, that is all the procurement, plant constructions, engineering. Also, we operate, support, and project management. Also, we do some service in the network, the pipelines, works, and some products like this. But the core, the main service is the water service that we produce or to implement technology, engineering, service to manage assets in different level of the water infrastructure. And also we provide industrial water solutions for different type of complexity industrial process. Of course, our vision is that is very important in this matter, in this topic, in this business, to be global, because the different problems that we have in the world is possible to acquire information, technology, knowledge, and then to implement in local visions, because again, water is a local issue, is a local is a local discussions, and the property of the water is local. That is a small community, is the municipality. Then is important, is very important to have this global vision, but also understand the local particularities. Of course, in this we have different clients. We have the local authorities, the public sector service. Also, we work in public-private partnerships. We have customers, B2C, and also industries that is B2B. Across the value chain of the water, we are in all the cycle of the process. Of course, in the production, drinking water we produce, distribute. We manage all the customer service billing, the collection of wastewater, the treatment, and also the reuse of the wastewater. That is very important today in order to protect our source in potable water. Of course, in the three big areas, that the first is the urban center. This is mainly the different municipalities around the world, especially in Europe. Agriculture too, that don't forget that the agriculture demand more than 70% of the fresh water in the world, 70%, and the rest is the rest of use, urban and industrial. And also one of the main clients now, and very, very technology, is all the industrial water treatment solutions. Then it's time to turn the tide. Too many people, industries, and ecosystems in our world are facing several water change. In some place, there is too much. In other, not enough. In some place, it's too contaminated to be used. In other, its transportation is complex. Together, we can make a change. You can help us change this. Whether you represent a city, a municipality, or industry, the agriculture sector, environment sector, business, or consumer interests, we invite you to join us in resetting humanity relationship with one of our planet's most precious natural resources, water. The company invests a strong ESG ambitions. The group that I work is the first European group, water European group, to have refinancing its debt in green bonds. We not only speak and promote, but also our funding, our cost of our debt is linked to 3 KPIs or 3 commitments in substantiality in sustainability process. First, our commitment is water withdrawals per subscribers. In our achievement, we try to reduce yearly 0.5% of withdrawal in our company. Also, the carbon emission intensity, we have different milestones in order to be zero carbon emissions in 2030, but in the next year, all our energy will be from renewable source. And also one of the most important is the diversity. The human representations in executive positions, that is also sustainability for us. The gender equality. In our sector, you know that the diversity is not to stand. Then we try to reach parity around 40 to 60 among the top. And our commitment is more than 160 executive women in 2025. Then we are pushing for 100% renewable electricity next year, a full circular model in 2030, and net zero carbon in 2050. What we try to do this for technology, I think the only way is to change our mindset, but it's possible if we incorporate technology in all the process. Innovation, basically, in all our process, mainly in the productions. Here you can see that we try to reduce energy cost, implemented different technology in order to control and to use artificial intelligence to set up or to anticipate the process in order to be efficient, and also to maximize our resilience and optimize our maintenance. Don't forget that the water is a very sensitivity for the climate change. Then is very, very important all our new infrastructure to be resilient of the climate change and to be very efficient in the maintenance of all these assets. Then, of course, it's very, very important to have data to analyze, to be transparent, and to improve the future. Then we are implementing in our network, in our process, a lot of sensors to measure KPIs and to store this data in a big data in order to use to learn, to be more transparent, and to assess the information for anywhere. You know that in many places, in many different clients, the problem of the different type of management, water management or environment management, is the information, the different level of information, the private company or the public sector. To be more transparent is to provide all the information about the process to our clients, to our different stakeholders of the society. Then that's very important for us, and we are trying to do this. And of course, to incorporate what we say artificial intelligence is providing us, implementing a way to predict some issue in this sector, mainly pipe leakage, energy consumptions, and this is protecting water resources or to be more sustainability in the future. And the end, that for me is very, very important. This again, develop transparent data sharing with our stakeholders and become the first water sector players to offer all the information, to be very transparent for the different level of the society in order to audit or to control that if we are managed well or in good conditions, one of the main resources, natural resources that we have in the planet. That's water. Okay, and that's all. My presentation. And thank you again to be here in Oporto. Hola. Hello?
Hey. Oh, you can do the moderation now. No. Okay. Thank you very much, Rogerio. It's always very inspiring to see that you have been doing such an effort and going such a long way, and actually being working for, as you said, to a better world, a world with less pollution and more social responsibility, where everyone is part of the solution. Thank you very much. Without further delays, I would like to welcome Miguel Rangel from PRIO. Welcome, Miguel.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you very much for being here in the room. And of course, the ones that are at home or digitally present are also welcome to this presentation. Well, my role today is probably to share with you how a fuel company is not the black duck of this panel, because in fact we are perhaps the most industry related to carbon. But as I will show in the next slides, I will show that in fact PRIO in fact began not being a carbon emission company, and how the path and the history of this can be also positive for a better future and positive as in a sustainable society. So I think it is now working. Yes. We were born in 2006 as a biodiesel company. In fact, the first reason PRIO appeared was to produce and distribute diesel that has a zero carbon emission. It was by the time an ideal. It was a propose. Of course, we have legislation, we have mechanical limitations over the vehicles, of course. So the 100% biodiesel was not applied to every mobile car that or transportation that we have in the world. So we developed different levels of incorporation of biodiesel, and that's how we opened our first petrol station station in 2007 as a company that has a biodiesel with a higher percentage of diesel with a higher percentage of biodiesel, so reducing the emissions of carbon. So today we distribute and we commercialize, of course, fuel all over the country. We have a tank park of warehouse in Aveiro, in the middle of the country, more or less, where we have either this tank and either the biodiesel plant where we produce the biodiesel. Since 2006, we developed not only the biodiesel, as I said, but also the electric mobility company. So today we have more than 50% of our EBITDA coming from renewable sources, either biodiesel, either electric mobility. But at the same time, of course, we developed our petrol stations all over the country. We began in 2007 with only 12. In 2020, we have more than 250, 260. Today, we manage in Portugal 258 petrol stations all over the country, as you can see here in the map, in the screen. Either with big or bigger ways like highways, big national routes, either in medium cities, like this kind of image, and of course in small locations, in small villages, in small operations. So we have we have an offer that touches the different levels of society, either from local to big ways all over the country. Since last year, we also manage the Shell brand company and petrol stations in Portugal. After 17 years out of Portugal, Shell returned to Portugal. We manage these operations, we manage these petrol stations. So for the ones that travel all over the country, we will see not only the one existing, like the ones I have on the photograph, but for sure more and more because we are developing also the expansion of these companies here in Portugal, either in highways, either in small locations. So it's one of the strongest brand in the world, and we are also developing this brand in Portugal. We have more or less in 2021 11% of market share in Portugal. And as I said, we are much more than a fuel and oil and gas company. As I said in the last slides, we have, of course, petrol stations all over the country, but we also have gas bottled gas, lubricants, electrical mobility, and the B2B businesses like supply and the biodiesel plant in Aveiro, where we developed our industrial part. Mobility is in PRIO since 2012. We began developing the chargers where, well, at the time, no one spoke about mobility, electrical mobility in our country, but since that time, we developed the first chargers in Portugal. Now we have almost 229 chargers all over the country. As you can see in the graphic below, the chargers are growing. The number of chargers are growing every year. I think it's something that we can see in the routes, either with 100% electrical vehicles, either with hybrid vehicles. The number of chargers is growing very, very fastly all over the years and strongly being introduced in our mobility. In Aveiro, we have some pictures of it. We have the tank park where we have the strongest warehouse of either fuels, either biodiesel units. We see in the three big tanks are for fuel, but on the right side we see the biodiesel plant where we develop the biodiesel production. We also have a bottled gas plant to develop, and we have, as I said, we have this logistical independence because we have connection to the sea. We have a dedicated port where we can change and load and unload, either for importations, either for exportations, either the chemicals, the biodiesel, everything that we develop. Talking about biodiesel, what we work here, it's a mistake there, not 2016, but 2006, where we developed this plant in the first way. And at the moment, we use as a raw material more than 80% of used oils. Used on either on domestic, either in industry. Our main resources are coming from used oil, and we developed a network based on our 250 more than 250 petrol stations all over the country. We'll develop these pickup oils where usual families, common citizens may or can deliver their used oil in this special we call oleões, big deposits. We make all the collection of these oils, and we transport to Aveiro, where we transform from used oils into biodiesel, and then we put the biodiesel, of course, in the network again in our petrol station. So we were talking about how to make a circular also this kind of operation, and we are with PRIO Eco Waste is the name of this operation. In fact, it's working more than I think 5 or 6 years. We began 5 or 6 years ago. So we have more than 80% of our as I said, of our materials for the biodiesel production being collected from the used oil that we use in our houses, in our restaurants, all over the country, in other utilizations. And what do we do with that? As I said before, we incorporate part of the biodiesel in the diesel. It is something that the European regulations demands, that all the diesels in the Europe should have a percentage of biodiesel. And we have our common biodiesel with the 7%. It's the percentage that the European Union demands as usual. But we also developed a B15 biodiesel that incorporates a larger percentage of biodiesel, and thus, of course, that reduces, of course, the carbon emissions of the fuel or the cars that use the biodiesel. As an example, an extreme example is the photograph we have on the right. These are buses from Carris. Carris is the main in the public company of public transportation in Lisbon. And we have already, in the cooperation, of course, with Carris, a line that works 100% on biodiesel fuel. So it's a zero emissions line with common buses like we see there. And it's a way, as I said, that we are developing with Carris, and of course also trying to push and to pull this kind of operation, not only for public transportation, but also for merchandise transportation, public and other needs that the society might have. So through the collection of used oils in our petrol stations, we recirculate these oils to put them again on the vehicles, but on a zero or reduced carbon emissions on the transportations. So what my role particularly is to also develop and to manage the convenience stores that we have on the petrol stations. As we said, as we heard in this morning, it's important to develop the local consumption, and the convenience is becoming more and more important to facilitate that local consumption. So we are developing two store concepts that allow the local communities to access to products in a more close, with no needs to travel longer or far away from their homes or from their works. So each one of these concepts, either with PRIO, ePronto in the photograph above, either with Shell Select and the photograph below, we try to give the people that access these stores the more complete offer they might need, so that they cannot need to travel far away to get there, either to their food or some electronics or whatever. So either with Shell Select, either with PRIO ePronto more recently, we are developing that convenience, either also with new formats for convenience that we are developing now. This is a store that's being almost finished, that is completely autonomous without anyone to be there, so it can be managed by anyone. Only the client enters, get out, and everything is done. So in a few weeks we'll develop more this information. So it's in Portuguese, but I'll translate for sure. 5 view for the future. PRIO aims to remain to be on the decarbonization and goals that the country has, developing either, as I said, either the electrical mobility and, of course, also the biodiesel and bioenergy sustainable resources. We developed with some universities, some investigators, also developments around hydrogen, biomethane and others. So we did not stop on the biodiesel. We are developing, of course, other ways of sustainability in energies. And we are also focused on the energetical transition, on the decarbonization, and for sure, and that's the last sentence I have there, the flex fuel concept, that in fact is to adapt our point of sale to the needs of energy that the consumer and the mobile consumer might have, either energy for the body to eat, either for electrical mobility, either to biodiesel or other sources of energies like hydrogen and others that we are also developing and working on. So that's what I have to share with you here. Hope it was relevant, and thank you once again for being here and for the invitation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Miguel. And what a journey. What a journey since you started already in the 21st century, and everything you have been doing. I must confess I'm a client, and I'm a happy one. And I'm even happier now that I know you're doing such an effort, and that a big share of the diesel that I use and the electrical power that I consume from you comes from sustainable and renewable sources. Meanwhile, you are being an active agent in developing and promoting the local economy, which is also very, very good to hear. Thank you very much. Without further delay, Jorge Galvão Santos, business developer, Beijing Water Group. Welcome, Jorge, and thank you.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organization for inviting me to this event. And I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate them, especially Alberto and Carolina, for this amazing event that we are witnessing. Next, I will make a short presentation of BWGPT, the company where I work, telling you who we are, what we do, and how we can help to secure the future in our activity. Sorry. BWGPT is a Portuguese company and that provides services in the environmental sector. Established in 2013, and with its capital owned by Beijing Enterprises Water Group, which is a Chinese group leader in the environmental and water sector in its country. Since 2010, the group has been expanding internationally and belonging BWGPT to its overseas division. In our mother company, BWG, we work in areas such as water treatment, wastewater treatment, desalination, or renewable energies. In Portugal, as I mentioned before, BWGPT was formed in 2013 through the acquisition of another company already implemented in the Portuguese market, which was the French Compagnie Générale des Eaux. We changed its name and continued its activity in the water sector. BWGPT owns companies related with each sector of the environmental area, being BWater responsible for the water market, BWater responsible for the energy sector, and BWGPT itself for other areas, which includes the solid waste treatment. As you can see in this map of Portugal, BWGPT has contracts spread all over the country in the areas of sanitation, water supply, waste collection, or energy. In the department where I work at BWGPT, the Business Development Department, we are responsible for identifying new business opportunities, not only in Portugal and Europe, but also in Africa, South America, or Middle East. In this map behind me, you can see some countries we are already working, apart from Portugal, such as Angola, Mozambique, or Botswana. Other ones we are about to start providing services really soon. We're expecting in the next few days or weeks, such as Saudi Arabia, and other ones where we are developing commercial contacts to in the near future contribute to their development. And how can we relate our company to the challenge we will face in securing a future for our planet, children, or upcoming generations? We all know that nowadays the guarantee of a future is strongly connected with what we do with the environment. And being BWGPT, a company that works in the environmental sector, we are strongly committed to contribute with our knowledge and resources to continue participating in this challenge. As far as the water and wastewater sector is concerned, BWater, the BWGPT company responsible for acting in this area, works mainly in the operation and maintenance of sanitation and supply systems, both in the private and public sector, guaranteeing the execution of all the components of that contract, such as technical assistance, control of the treatment process, supply of chemicals, sludge and waste management, analytical control, or energy management of the systems. Beyond the obvious contribution to the environment associated with the water treatment and its proper discharge in the environment or its reuse in the irrigation, we seek to go further. Going into what we can do at the energy level in this sector, we seek to be our clients' partners in obtaining new solutions to get a better environmental performance through the control and optimization of costs associated with the water cycle, minimizing the energy consumption. In this way, we have projects to install solar panels in several wastewater treatment plants, allowing us the consumption of clean energy produced locally. In order to get the best return of this alternative energy and in parallel and as a complement to that solution, we are also installing softwares that allow us to get a real-time monitoring of the treatment quality, manage and optimize the operation of the main equipment, matching its use with periods of alternative energy supply or low tariff costs, allowing us to reduce the consumption of energy of the national network. Still in the wastewater treatment plants, we can use the biogas released in the digestion of sludge to produce energy through a cogeneration system. In this way, with a subproduct of the treatment, we can produce energy instead of the biogas, instead of being burned and released to the atmosphere, we can store it and produce energy through, as I told you before, as a cogeneration system. As the issue of water management and water efficiency so important nowadays, we are also active in these areas. BWater, in its day-to-day activity, takes sustainability and water efficiency management issue very seriously. Water scarcity is on the agenda, and we can make a valuable contribution to responsible water management through our vast experience in the field and the contribution of our teams of professionals. In our concessions and specific contracts, we have experienced teams that are working in the water efficiency area, finding leaks and modeling the network. With this work, we can reduce the waste of water that occurs to non-visible leaks, saving that resource that is so important to us. In addition to the water and wastewater sector, BWGPT also works have contracts in the waste sector. At PWG, besides the respect for all the requirements to guarantee a good quality of service, we intend to go further and be an active partner of our clients in the development and implementation of innovative projects that promote an environmental policy associated with sustainable development. We can work at urban waste management, providing services of collection and final disposal of the waste, urban waste. We can use softwares to design and optimize the collection of the collection circuits. We can also supply, maintain, and wash containers. In the area of urban cleanness, we do the street sweeping and washing, both manual and mechanical. We also use, again, the software to plan and optimize the urban cleaning circuits. We do deforestation and cutting of green areas, and do the cleaning of gutters and drains. In this area, apart from the remove of the waste from the streets, the usual, in terms of environmental benefits that we are implementing, the usual diesel trucks collection, diesel collection vehicles are being substituted by gas-powered vans, reducing the emission of gas. And also the software that I told you about to optimize the circuits will decrease the number of kilometers of the routes, reducing also the emission of gas. Not concerns about energy and mobility. BWatts is the BWGPT company responsible for this market and works to ensure the provision of clean energy solutions to the customers, helping to find adjusted solutions in the production of electricity generated through renewable resources and without the emission of pollutants and reduction of impacts to the environment. In this context, we can design photovoltaic systems. We can provide photovoltaic panels and manage electrical production and distribution systems. And as BWater believes that securing a future is not only connected with the environmental issue, and believes that people are also part of that future, important part of that future, I will now present a small project that we are implementing in the north of Portugal, in the countryside, which is Projeto Sem Aldeias. Projeto Sem Aldeias is directed to the villages located in the north of Portugal, which are elderly and socially more isolated. And we pretend to create an energy community among the residents of that communities, where the energy production of the photovoltaic power plants will be shared by all the members with no initial costs for the community. In fact, in that villages, usually we have a social problem connected with the energy poverty. Through this project, we pretend to get an energy transition that will get renewable energies allowed to the population, reducing their energy bills and increase their thermal comfort and quality of life through this new and better energy efficiency. In the lighting area, BWatts pretend to present technological solutions combined with an energy consumption efficiency, providing LED systems for various types of needs. So we can provide LED systems for outdoor and indoor public lighting, LED systems for lighting monuments and historic areas, or LED systems for building sites and stadium lighting. At the electric mobility area, BWatts pretend to present a variety of technological solutions that combine energy efficiency with the need for electrical mobility in urban centers. This way, we have chargers for various type of solutions of chargings that can use in domestic use, companies, public, or fleet, depending we can changing the power of the chargers depending of the need. We also work at sustainable micromobility in the cities, promoting urban transport in electric scooters with no emission of CO2. And this was a short presentation. Now a company already linked to the environment can go further and achieve new solutions to contribute to a better future for all of us.
Muito obrigado, Jorge, e claro que ficou, sorry for my mistake, I just completely forgot I was in the world and not in Portugal. Thank you very much, Jorge. It was very clear to all of us, all the effort that you've been putting in such a short time since 2013, and also that this is a matter to better manage the resources and to have a positive impact in the environment. It's a matter of not only hard work, but also smart work, because a lot of use of new technologies and integration of different dimensions seems to be a challenge you embraced and that Beijing Water Group is doing, both on water, resources and energy. And I'm guessing that there'll be many questions from the audience afterwards. I'd like to welcome now Menezes Shalem, CEO from the Empresa de Águas e Saneamento do BIE. Welcome, Menezes.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I want to share with you about my experience in water sector, properly in the water company of BIE province. First, we have some description about Angola. Maybe for some of you already know Angola, and some is the first time. So we have the small description about the Angola population and the growth rate of Angola. And we have the seasons of Angola regarding the weather. We have two seasons. We have the rain season that start in October and end in April. And we have also the dry season that is named also Kasimbo. We call it Kasimbo also, that start in May up to September. And we have the climatic zones where we have the humidity around the 30%, and the temperature is above 23 degrees. And we have the main rivers in Angola. We have Atlantic Ocean slope with 7 rivers, and the main river on that slope is Rio Kwanza. It has more than 1,000 kilometers. And we have also Congo Zaire slope with 2 rivers, Kwangu and Kasai. And we have Indian Ocean slope, Zambezi, with 3 rivers. And we have on the south the slope of Kalahari with the river Kubangu and Quito. And we have also a small description about BIE. BIE is the province where my company is working. And we have the population. It's around 1,654,000 people. and the rate is also around 3.3, and we have the altitude around 1.7. It's almost the highest area of Angola. And we have also a small description about the company where I'm working. The company is Empresa de Águas e Saneamento do Bié. The abridgment is EASBA. And here we have some data regarding the growth during these years. Since 2014 up to 2022, we have the number of house connections, we have the number of population currently served, and we have the number of employees. As you can see, we started with 45 employees, and now we are around 122 employees. So here we have some figures regarding the production of water and its growth also from 2014 up to 2022. And here we have some figures about the house connection. It's also growing. And here we want to share with you the municipalities where we are located, where the company is based. We have normally 9 municipalities, and for the moment we are only in 4 municipalities, as you can see. And we have also data regarding the flow and house connections. Systems sustainability. So the revenue from invoice and some participation by the Angolan government. So to sustain the company, some revenue come from the invoice and other is coming from Angolan government participation. And make the company's programs compatible with the government development plan, make the economic and social policy of the state compatible with the technical, economic, and financial viability of the company. Here we have some data regarding current situation in each municipality. We are present, as I said before, in 4 municipalities. We have Cuito, we have Kuninga, Nyare, and Kwemba. And we have the figures of house connection. And of course, we have also the flow production. And we have also the growth forecast in the next 10 years. Well, as I said, it's a short presentation, and thank you. Obrigado. Tua Pandula.
And now I'd like to challenge all the audience, both here and at home, if you have any questions, and please take part of the discussion, because the more people we have embracing this discussion, the better. But I'll start. I would like to start by asking Rogerio, because Saur has an international experience. Saur have been working in different geographies. As you mentioned in your presentation, in some places we have too much water sometimes. In other locations, we have a difficulty of access. And in your view, if you have to select a big challenge that we all have to embrace in what comes to managing water, given your experience, what would that be?
Hello. For me, in water business, the most important is the transparent for me. the confidence between the clients and the operator, and to communicate well, because we have a lot of competitors, more or less have good technologies, and the speech that we have in the media is political discussions about the on of the water. And this is not the discussions. I think independently who are the owner of the company, in Europe and a lot of country in the world, the property, the owner is the people. The water is the people. It's of course we have some example that there is part of some countries that there are private owner about the natural resources, but it's not the case about the main of the country of the world. And these discussions remain in environment, politicians' environments that I think don't contribute in the development of the business, but not the business, perhaps the sustainability of the water, to increase the performance. And for me, is the transparency that we need in all the systems or all in the contract. This is the reason that one of my slides is to the data of the systems is not property of the operator. The data also, like the assets, should be part of the transparent that the customers, the people in the cities could have access and discuss if this operator, this provider of the service is good for the future of the city. The tariff also is important to discuss, because in many cases we don't compare apples to apples, because it's difficult in the water business, because in each city the cost of the production is different, the cost to distribute the water is different. Of course, to treat the wastewater is too complex too, and it's very complex to elaborate if the cost is higher or not, or to cover the efficiency of the operator. Then, regarding your question, for me, the most important, the challenge of the future is to have a good discussions about good operation, not the property, not to politicize the speech. To be, and this is what I think, to be very transparent is important. Of course, then we have a lot of big challenge. The climate change is one of these. We need to see that if we follow the statistic or what the specialists say about the climate change, one of these is the sea level will increase very quickly. But if we see the infrastructure that the government are doing, in this case, in the sanitations, the municipalities or the national governments in this moment are doing very, very few, because if we compare in 2050, we will have at least 1 meter above the sea, or the sea will increase 1 meter. And you can see all the wastewater infrastructures will be below the sea. Then, and 2050 is only 30 years in the future. We need to change, and the government need to discuss very well what will invest into fulfill or to discuss that we need to change, because the climate change will affect a lot the water provisions, and not only the water but also the sanitations. Then first, transparency, and not contaminate the speech which better operate the water service. And second, the climate change is one of the main challenge in the future.
Thank you. Well, I get the impression that you believe that if we want to go somewhere, we have to go together. We could go faster if we go alone, but this is too big to go alone. So we have to share everything, and we have to share the challenge. Thank you, Miguel. With PRIO, and I would like to recall the last bit of your presentation, when you mentioned that somehow you want to promote this proximity and to be a proximity solution, because it's not a matter of supplying the fuel, the best fuel with the less impact, is also to provide the people with a solution for them not to use so much fuel, so they can source what they need at a closer range, and that's a big challenge that potentially has also a very big impact.
Yeah, I think we the societies that after the World War become more mobile. People get the travel either inside countries, either between countries, become more frequent, and the challenge is how to make that need that population have less carbon emission mobility. And so one of the solutions may be from being more local, but also being more carbon emissions when people need to travel. So that's what we try to do. Not only, as I said, becoming more complete in the offer we have on each local we are, but also being or providing our customers with solutions for mobility that increase or decrease the carbon emissions, electrical, biodiesel, and other emissions. So the challenge is to balance this, because not only because of the offer wherever we are, but also because of the cost of everything that can be everywhere. So a challenge is really, really important, because as we heard from Rogerio saying, 2050 is already here, and we also have all the society might have a role to play to reduce carbon emissions, and of course all the impacts that has on climate and everything. We try to do our best, and we try to, as you said, to provide our customers from different kinds of fuels that allow people to travel, to mobile, but with lower carbon emissions. That's our main role now.
Yeah, because we want to do that without stopping everything. So we want
Yes, we cannot stop. That's how I said.
We were at home for 2 years and we had enough. So now we don't want to go back to home.
No,
to have our freedom.
We know the impacts of stopping now from our experience. We know as human beings that we don't know, we don't need, and we don't want that. So, but we also have to have in mind that if we move from one side to other, one place to other, we probably need to find the more efficient way to do it. Either walking if we can, but most of the times we cannot. So we need to have other solutions to move without increase our footprint, or carbon footprint. For sure.
Yeah, it's encouraging to see a company like yours that is embracing mobility in such an holistic way.
Wow.
Jorge, Beijing Water Group, it's tackling this whole value chain of waste and trying to turn the waste into resources, while also looking at how to generate energy and also to be closer to the local communities. And that's also a very big challenge, no?
Yeah. We, as I told you before, in the water sector, we pretend to use all the alternative energies that come from other areas, such as the solar panels, and also at the waste sector. I'll talk about the biogas produced. It was the gas released in the sludge digestion. We can use it to produce energy to cogeneration systems. At the waste sector, we we make the collection and the disposal in the landfills of the waste, and also nowadays the contracts of waste also pretend to get more energetic efficient and with less gas emissions to atmosphere. So we have some technologies to reduce the route of the circuits with softwares, and also the gas powered collection vehicles are substituted by gas powered ones. And this is how we try to get together all the alternatives that we find nowadays of the new technologies in all the sectors to contribute to get a better environment for all of us. That's the changing we pretend to do, and it's not depending of the important in this issue is that the changing depends of all of us, not the companies, but each one individually has to contribute to the changing that we all face nowadays.
Thank you, Jorge. It's the good part is that the challenge will not end up soon. So you will have a lot of work in the coming future. Even after 2050, you will have the challenge.
But and all of us have to contribute to that now.
Now we all have to do that. Menezes Salam, you will not have the problem with the rising sea in BA. The sea will not get to BA anytime soon. You are still far away from the sea. But we all get the impression that, and sorry for repeating myself, that in Angola, in Africa, challenges are even more challenging because you have been struggling with issues and with problems that we don't understand so well here in Europe. Also because this is a much more recent project. You've been increasing very sharp, but in 2014 you were small, and now you must be suffering from the fact that the infrastructure is growing, and I'm sure that you've been facing problems that probably will help us all understand how this greener future, better future in the world happens in your daily struggle in BA.
Like how I experienced, the company is a new one. We have only 8 years since the company was created. Before, water system was under government control, and in 2014 it was created the company, and of course it's a great challenge, and we have been supported by Water for knowledge, so that people can have more knowledge of how to manage the system. And yes, of course, that it will be a big challenge for us. But people has been training so that we can solve small problem and have more capacity of managing the system.
Yeah, there have been some improvements. I would like now to re-challenge the audience because I'm sure that many of you have questions and comments, and please don't feel shy and throw them. They are very good presenters. I know that they explain everything very well. So, but
hello again. I was asked a similar question in one of the summits that takes place all over the world in the water sector. A question very similar to the one that they made you. They asked me, what do you think that it is the most important thing to do as a CEO of a water utility. And my answer was not about the data, about the transparency. My answer was that I think that at the end of the day, our duty as a water utility is to serve our customers. We exist only because we have customers. We exist only because we need to provide services, basic services to our customers. And I think that in the future, utilities, water utilities or water and energy utilities, whatever, they need to be more and more directed, more and more inclined to serve their customers with excellence, because we all know that we are in many cases dealing with monopolistic markets. If they don't have us, they don't have anywhere else to get their services from. And well, just wanted to share this experience that I had quite recently in other forums. On the other hand, I'm sorry, but I can't remember your name. Jorge. I think that in your case, I can see that you are dealing with so many sectors like the water, the wastewater, the waste itself. I can see that from a business model point of view that if you wanted to go completely circular, you have the tools to go completely circular. And I was commenting with Alberto here that there are some things that I think that you should think about doing in the future, like how can you use, for instance, some waste from the water sector, and I'm thinking about treated water, to, for instance, to clean your trucks in that collect the waste, and to other activities. So I think that when you are lucky enough to be in a group that covers so many sectors, you can really think out of the box and think and move further away in order to have this most huge impact on the environment, on the planet, and that's it.
Yes, belonging us to a big group with all the areas in the environmental sector, our objective is in fact to get the circular way, pretending to use all the components of the various sectors to contribute to get the best future for us, and with energy savings, waste savings. It's a work that we are doing. We are in some sectors we are still beginning, such as the energy sector. We have our company was formed in the last year, in the end of last year, but our objective goes through the thinking that you ever have told us.
Yeah, there's a huge potential to close the loop when we deal with so many sectors.
It's a challenge that we have, and is an objective to pretend to achieve in the next years.
The idea that we all get is that they have many bricks to build a wall. So and most of you that you have to be focused on this particular stage of the value chain. And as you said, this is a natural monopoly. Because you are not going to build two parallel infrastructures to provide a certain location. And Rogerio, I think he touched that when he said that the way to go forward, the way to is not through free market or competition, is through transparency, and is through developing these KPIs to have a purpose, and to show people, as you said as well, very well, that we no longer allow our utility supplier not to provide the best service anytime we want. That's just the minimum. We are not just We cannot stand a water company that does not provide water 24/7, 365 days. But we have to go. We have to go further, because that's just like the minimum. And now the challenge is to do the rest. And as you said, Water is in the sweet spot that they can touch, but no one can do anything alone. So they have to manage to build the value chain. Rogerio, we have a question from the audience. Thank you very much.
One more question. Oh, sure. Thank you, by the way, for that awesome discussion. It's always interesting to see what people are working on, especially around sustainability. I believe in the future, as you all do. And my question to you is, what are we doing to encourage the next generation of individuals, society, people, as far as youth, engaging them in some activities that will make sure that they're aware and alert of the impact that their parents, that we're doing right now in the communities? So are there any engagements from your level with the communities that you're in at the youth level, meaning high schools, middle schools, kindergartens, for education to help them understand their behavior? Because if we start them now, we know we could train them to be a better citizens than we did in our generation for the communities that we live in. So my question to you is, what are you doing in the communities that you live in to provide youth education or youth engagement to understand water, oil, all these things, and the impact that they're making, and the better decision, hopefully, for the future? Thank you.
Thank you. You decide, Miguel.
I can just give an example. Over the PRIO Eco Waste program, we regularly activate this program on schools, teaching and concerning not only the teachers, of course, the students, to aware of them of the importance of not throw the oil through the water waste together with the water waste, because that's a very pollutant substance. So this kind of the bottles we provide in every petrol stations allow the families to collect their domestic used oils, and that begins with children and of course with parents for sure. And so we act through schools to make them aware of the importance of collecting used domestic oils through our petrol station, through the bottles we have specialized for that, and the circle and the impact that has, not only reducing waste, but also to replace the oils on the fuels and then on the mobile with lower carbon emissions. So we do that with schools actively, in fact.
Thank you. We are getting into the 2 last minutes, so we have to be very brief now. I know we have some students in the audience, and some of them are still trying to figure out what they are going to do afterwards, after they graduate and they go to the market. And many of them are not fully aware of the potential of this new circular economy. So if you have to just leave them with a word, like to either inspire them or to just drive them out of trying to develop some competencies in this area, what would you say?
I would say then that we have a big challenge facing in the near future, and they are part of very important parts of them. The education, not only as us working in already established companies, that we can do a social component and helping the people with knowing to get the knowledge to get better procedures in the future. But the students are the most important part of this issue, because they are the future, and the knowledge will be the guarantee that we can get further, can get a better future for all of us.
Only a few words. I know that working water is to be a little bit politic, yes, and correct politic. But of course, our company, water company, spend a lot of money to educate the next generation. But for me, the most important to ensure the future or to be more commitment of the future is to say the truth. For me, is to say the truth.
So no greenwashing, just take it as it is. And we know it's going to be very hard work, but we have to do it. There's no other way around, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, we just end up our time, and we all like to be very sharp and they're very punctual. So last call for questions. If you don't have any further questions, I would like to ask you a big clapping and thank you very much to our